advice to the president that he then acts on, who is an avowed white nationalist. It's been culturally codified at this point.
He said, come one, come all. If you like me, that's enough.
Let's hop into a CNN panel as they eviscerate Trump and MAGA for their allowance of far-right extremists, racists, and white nationalists among the top of their ranks. So leave us a like on the video if you can. We appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. And let's hop right into the debate.
There was a moment in 2015, 2016 for Donald Trump and the Republican Party to say, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, white nationalists, anti-Semites, quacks and conspiracy theorists, you're not welcome. In my movement. I don't want to be associated with you. He didn't. He said, come one, come all. If you like me, that's enough cost of entry. That gets you into the party. And then conservatism and the Republican Party sort of swallowed these people up and morphed into this MAGA movement. And that part is so bothersome to me, more than he fired some people at the recommendation. It's that Laura Loomer associates herself with conservatism and the Republican Party. That is so awful.
And Trump called.
It's kind of hilarious when the left is pointing out racism or bigotry in MAGA of some kind, and some random right-wing voter will say, oh, you're saying I'm racist if I vote for Trump? And it's like, well, no, you could not be racist personally or directly. You could be also, but you're not only fine with racism existing among the ranks of your party, but being specifically in positions of power within your party, where in Trump's first term, you had like Nick Fuentes, a self-proclaimed Nazi, come to the White House and have dinner with him. In this term, you have a self-proclaimed white nationalist, Laura Loomer, having enough access to the president to recommend people be fired at the national security, and then he ends up actually firing them, where there is an argument for one, just not being anti-racist is kind of racist, but it's the sheer comfortableness of racism or bigotry being in power that exists in MAGA that makes me more than comfortable saying the blanket statement of MAGA is racist.
It's been culturally codified at this point. I mean, you have someone talking to the president, not just chumming around, not just had a dinner, but going to the White House and delivering advice to the president that he then acts on, who is an avowed white nationalist. Terrifying. Terrifying to the point that I thought he had to be flooding the zone, that this had to be something that he was doing to take our minds and the talking points away from the tariffs and the bad week that he had. And it had to be some sort of stunt.
And to be clear here, it was scary enough when Trump, someone who had prior been sued of racial discrimination in housing, was on tape talking about grabbing women without even asking, literal sexual assault, took office. That alone sets a wild standard for the country. But then when someone who self-proclaims them as a white nationalist is in his rank, someone who self-proclaims them as a Nazi is having dinner at the White House with them, when someone like Laura Loomer, who tweets openly racist things, is able to be a direct advisor to the president, like, how are people of color supposed to feel in this country? I mean, the damage being done to the fabrics of our country is disgusting, economically, socially, civilly, and in every way. Rights are being rolled back to a pre-1950s era where where do we go from here once we are moved to this point? How do we go back?
It had to be some sort of stunt. But the more that I think about it, it doesn't matter whether it is or whether it's not. This is the worst fear of a lot of people who, just to be honest with you, were gaslit and told that there was no connection between Donald Trump and white nationalism, that there was no connection between Donald Trump and these far-right people that you're talking about right now. And we were lied to. They're in the White House, they're talking to the president, and he's listening.
There's nothing off limits anymore.
Nothing.
I mean, and toward the end of the first Trump term, it was the Sidney Powells of the world.
And it seems every day the left becomes so much more vindicated in everything it's been warning about that it's almost not even funny, like, to say, I told you so at this point, where MAGA swore no connection to these sort of extreme far-rightists. Like, they're just here to save the country. They're the moderates. They just want to fix a broken system, right? Well, Now we have the market tanking. We have consumer spending crumbling. Prices aren't fixed. Tariffs are set to raise them even more. Something that was $10 from China last week is going to be $18 on Wednesday. I mean, it's sheer insanity. All while Trump is taking orders from the richest man in the world who threw up a Sieg Heil and talked at a far-right German rally, talk about forgetting past guilt. And now Laura Loomer, I keep saying Luma, the woman who said the White House would smell like curry if Kamala Harris won, to give you an idea of her character.